Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you're absolutely in love with the New York Knicks like I am, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below and you light up that post notification bell so you do not miss any future New York Knicks content on this channel. I guarantee you will not regret it. Even though everyone has their different opinions and takes, these are my opinions. You can agree with them, you cannot. I have a very open mind when it comes to sports, specifically the game of basketball and the New York Knicks. But today, I'm bringing guys different types of content, especially since it is the off season. There is not a ton to talk about. So in today's video, I'll be telling you guys the story of Jalen Brunson. I did a lot of research, but this is the story of the rise of Jalen Brunson. I'm going to be talking about his high school career, where he grew up, and what he did in college basketball throughout his 3 years there, his freshman, sophomore, and junior year, what led up to the NBA, what scouts thought of him, and him in a Mavericks uniform, what led to him being signed by the New York Knicks. All of that is all going to be in this video. I don't know him personally, but I did my best to make sure that this was all checked factually. I had tons of fun making this video. It took a while, but I do love seeing the final product. Make sure you share this video if you did enjoy this video. And let's get right into the story of the rise of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey in 1996. He grew up in South Jersey until 6th grade, his first year of middle school. His mother, Sandra, and his father, Rick Brunson, actually met at Temple University, where Rick Brunson actually played basketball. And if you take a look at Rick Brunson, he had a successful career playing the game of basketball. As Rick spent some time playing at Temple, Rick went on to play 9 seasons in the NBA, playing with the Raptors, the Supersonics, Celtics, Rockets, Bulls, Clippers, Trailblazers, and even the Knicks. Basketball is always around in Jalen Brunson's life, which makes sense that Rick Brunson, his father, passed it down to him. But there is a difference. Sometimes we see a father have a totally different passion from their son. They're kind of crammed into it, and you could tell that they don't really enjoy it. But Jalen Brunson absolutely loves the craft. He's one of the best workers in the NBA. He has an extremely great work ethic. He is in love with the game of basketball. Even when he was a kid, he would sneak inside his mom's room, take her long socks, cut holes in them so he could use them as arm sleeves to look like Allen Iverson. His father playing for multiple NBA teams, even being on coaching staffs like a Tom Thibodeau today or several years back, because Tom Thibodeau's been in the league for that long. And when he had an opportunity to get Michael Jordan's autograph when he was really young, he said to Michael Jordan, "Do not touch that, you'll get it dirty." So Jalen Brunson, you could tell he was a wholesome kid, and he just always has loved the game of basketball. The family first settled down in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, but they moved 7 times before settling in Illinois in 2010. And that's where Jalen's legacy began in high school basketball at Stevenson. In high school as a freshman, Brunson was an All-Lake County honorable mention selection in 2012, as Stevenson finished the season with a 17-11 record, as Brunson was racking up points and assists, showing off his craftiness, but he's only scratching the surface. During his sophomore year, Stevenson started the season 10-4 before going on a 19-game winning streak. His sophomore season, he led Stevenson to the championship game against Jabari Parker, who ended up being the 2nd pick in the 2014 NBA draft, being selected by the Milwaukee Bucks. He was getting comparisons to Carmelo Anthony, but sadly, there was some adversity in Jabari Parker's career when he got to the league, getting killed with injuries. But they also had Kendrick Nunn, who most recently played for the Wizards in the NBA, played with the Lakers, and he was an absolute dog in high school. Keep in mind, even Derrick Rose attended this program of Simeon, so they have a big-time history of winning, but Kendrick Nunn's currently a free agent, so they were playing a stacked Simeon program that is a 3-time defending state champion. In the first half, Brunson got the backcourt in foul trouble, he was getting some buckets, before being held to only 1 point in the second half of a 58-40 loss. Stevenson finished the season, though, pretty successfully with a 29-5 record, but Jalen Brunson was still hungry for more.
He had a great opposition as well. What do you have to say about that senior Jalen Brunson? He looked pretty good tonight.
Yeah, he was a great sophomore, underclassman. Yeah, he'll be making noise, so look out for him.
Following the season, the Associated Press named him to the Class 4A All-State second team. As the only sophomore on the first or second team, Brunson averaged 21.5 points that season. As his junior year, he went off. Brunson had an ultimate chip on his shoulder following the championship loss, as on February 21st, 2014, Brunson erupted for 57 points in a double overtime victory over Lake Forest High School. The performance gave him both the school single game and career scoring records, as in a huge game his junior year, taking on a top 3 prospect in the world once again, one of the best low post centers, some of the best footwork, one of the best hook shots, Jalil Okafor, who ended up attending Duke and ended up being selected 3rd overall by the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2015 NBA draft. But Brunson set the IHSA playoff single game scoring record against Jalil Okafor's led Whitney Young High School by scoring 56 points in a 75-68 state playoff semifinal loss. I can't believe they lost this game. 56 points dropped by Jalen Brunson. Brunson literally scored 56 of his team's 68 points, a heartbreaking ending to the season, falling short once again. Brunson averaged 26.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 2.9 steals, getting it done on both ends of the floor for a Stevenson team that finished the season with a 32-2 record. Brunson was not playing with future college basketball or NBA talent. He was playing with 2 members of their football team. Brunson was named Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Illinois as a junior. When it comes to the recruitment process, following the season, Associated Press named him as the only non-senior on the class of 4A All-State first team that also included Okafor, Cliff Alexander, Tyler Ulis, and Sean O'Mara. He finished 4th in the 2014 Illinois Mr. Basketball voting, as in April 2014, Illinois, Purdue, Kansas, and Villanova had in-home visits. He announced the 8 schools that he considered playing college basketball for: UConn, Michigan State, Illinois, Kansas, Purdue, Villanova, Michigan, and Temple. That summer, he was the #1 rated point guard according to ESPN, although the class had a notable shortage of elite pure point guards. As Jalen Brunson was getting recognized to the point, that summer he even helped Team USA win the gold medal at the 2014 FIBA America's Under-18 Championship. Brunson also participated in the LeBron James Skills Academy, as on September 8th, that was one of the biggest days of Jalen Brunson's life, making his decision of where he wants to go to college, coming down to Illinois and Villanova on September 10th. On that date, Brunson committed to Villanova University. As the recognition was here, Brunson was getting more and more recognition, so the expectations were building. Stevenson High School was preseason top 10 in the Max Prep's national high school rankings. No team from Lake County has ever won a state title. A lot was expected of Brunson's team after losing to teams led by Parker and Okafor in the tournament Final Four in 2013 and 2014. Senior year, though, was an absolute movie for the Stevenson High School program and Jalen Brunson, as they started off strong with an 11-0 record before losing a tight one to Chaminade Prep 88-81, led by Jason Tatum, who is currently on the Celtics and one of the best players in the league. Brunson, although, had 48 points, so the pattern here is, if it's against Jalil Okafor, Jason Tatum, Jabari Parker, he keeps having big-time performances, but it's not quite enough against these big-time programs with big-time players with a history of winning. On January 17th, Brunson and Stevenson faced Derek Thornton Jr. and Findlay Prep at the Hoop Hall Classic. At the time, Brunson was the #3 ranked high school point guard in the class of 2015, and Thornton was #2 for the #1 team in the country according to USA Today. Findlay, who was led by Arizona signee Alonzo Trier, he had 27 points. That name sound familiar, Knicks fans? He held Brunson to 26 in the second loss of the season for Stevenson, who had been 15-1. Despite the loss on January 28, he was named to the 2015 McDonald's All-American Boys Game roster, becoming the second player from Lake County to earn such recognition. He was named to the 11-man Team USA for the Nike Hoop Summit. On February 21st, Stevenson lost to Simeon as Brunson posted 25 points, but they played good tight defense on him as he only shot 9 of 24 from the field, adding a 22-game in-state streak in a game that featured the top 2 teams in the state. The Simeon frontline featured 3 Big Ten Conference signees, DJ Williams that ended up committing to Illinois, Ed Morrow that went to Nebraska, and Isaiah Moss to Iowa. He continued to get recognition though, as on March 5th, he was named to the Jordan Brand Classic roster. A couple weeks later, Brunson helped Stevenson qualify for a 3rd consecutive appearance in the Final Four with a victory over Riverside Brooksfield Township High School. In the game, Brunson became the Lake County career scoring record holder as Brunson kept receiving individual accomplishments, but at the end of the day, he just wanted to win. He repeated as Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year. That didn't matter to him at that point, though, I'm sure. It's finally here. He led Stevenson to the Final Four for a third consecutive time. He led the team to the first state championship by a Lake County school with a 4A title game record, 30 points, and a 57-40 victory over Normal Community High School. Brunson was 9 for 15 from the field and 9 for 9 from the free throw line. 2015 was Lake County's 9th consecutive year with the team reaching the Final Four. Stevenson became the first school in the large school division and the third school to win IHSA football and basketball state championships in the same year. The championship win helped squish the narratives that he can't win the big game, with past losses to Jabari Parker, Jallo Okafor, and Jason Tatum led teams. Following the season, he won Illinois Mr. Basketball. Brunson finished his senior season with averages of 23.3 points, 5.2 assists, and 4.7 rebounds per game, and with shooting percentages of 38% on three-point shots and 83% on free throws. Brunson was a first-team Parade All-American, as well as a third-team USA Today All-USA High School Basketball Team selection. In the April 11th Nike Hoop Summit, Brunson had 12 points and 7 assists in a 103-101 loss in the April 17th Jordan Brand Classic. Brunson had a game-high 3 steals. He finished his high school career ranked number 16 in the ESPN 100 and as the number 2 point guard behind Isaiah Briscoe. Brunson, like his father, is a left-handed basketball player in what was regarded as a weak point guard class. Before the start of Jalen Brunson's freshman campaign at the University of Villanova, Mike Rutherford from SB Nation listed Jalen Brunson as one of the top players to look out for and one of the most important players entering the 2015-16 college season. Jalen Brunson opened the season in the starting lineup with Villanova, taking on FDU. He went on to drop 12 points with 4 assists and a very solid freshman debut. He got off to a very strong start as a starter, helping lead Villanova to a 3-0 record, earning Big East Freshman of the Week, averaging 15.3 points per game, as on February 8th, the 2015-16 Wildcats became the first Villanova Wildcats men's basketball team to reach number 1 in the AP poll by climbing to the top of the 2015-16 NCAA Division I men's basketball rankings. That team was stacked with future NBA players like Josh Hart, Eric Pascal, Dante DiVincenzo, Ryan Arcidiacono, Mikal Bridges, and despite not making the NBA officially, maybe kinda, was on the Wizards Summer League team, the famous Chris Jenkins. Following a solid Big East season for Brunson, he was named to the 2015-16 All-Freshman team. The 2016 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament Regional Final against Kansas, Brunson made the final 2 free throws that gave the Wildcats a 2-possession lead with 3.5 seconds left. The 2015-16 Wildcats won the championship game of the tournament by defeating the North Carolina Tar Heels 77-74. Probably the most exciting championship game, or one of the most exciting championship games in NCAA basketball history for men's. With Brunson as a starter, Chris Jenkins sinking one of the craziest game winners, beating the buzzer versus North Carolina. Brunson finished his freshman season with a very solid outing, averaging 9.6 points, 2.5 assists, 1.8 rebounds, shooting 45% from the field and 38% from 3 in 24 minutes per game. Winning a title in his senior year of high school and then freshman year of college was probably a fantastic feeling for Jalen Brunson. He finished the season with solid numbers, but he's looking to make a leap. As going into his sophomore year, he started off strong, more comfortable second year in the program under Jay Wright, as after the 2016-17 Wildcats ascended into the top position in the 2016-17 NCAA Division I men's basketball rankings, the following night, Brunson posted a then career-high 26 points in a Philadelphia Big 5 win over LaSalle. Then after helping guide Villanova to a victory in its 2016-17 Big East season opener against DePaul, on December 28th, Brunson scored a career-high 27 points in an 80-70 December 31st win over number 10 Creighton to propel number 1 Villanova to a 14-0 record, being undefeated, and undefeated in conference play as well with a 2-0 record. Villanova couldn't be touched. Brunson gaining more and more confidence, keep in mind an increased role for Mikal Bridges, as well as one of the best 3-and-D players in the country. These 2 performances earned Brunson Big East Player of the Week recognition on January 2nd. Brunson was named to the Naismith Award Top 30 watch list, as on February 18th against Seton Hall, Brunson posted his first double-double with a career high of 10 assists and also racking up 22 points. Following the regular season, he was one of 4 selections in the 2016-17 All-Big East first team. Brunson averaged 14.7 points and 4.1 assists as a sophomore, improving in production, but also helping impact winning on both ends of the floor, becoming more vocal, becoming more physical and smarter as a basketball player. Villanova finished the season 32-4, 15-3 in Big East play to win the regular season championship in the Big East tournament. They defeated St. John's, Seton Hall, and Creighton to win the tournament championship. As a result, they received the conference's automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The Wildcats were given the tournament's overall number 1 seed. As the number 1 seed in the East region in the first round, they defeated Mount St. Mary's before being upset by number 8 seeded Wisconsin in the second round in a 65-62 loss. That loss marked the second time in the previous 3 tournaments that Villanova was upset by an 8-seeded team. Josh Hart stepped up big time with 19 points and 3 rebounds, now current Knick. Brunson didn't have an amazing game with 11 points on 5 of 11 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3 with 2 rebounds and just 1 assist, but Mikal Bridges didn't step up offensively in the starting lineup at all, finishing with 0 points. He didn't even put up 1 point. The Wildcats couldn't slow down Nigel Hayes, who spent some time in the NBA, who ironically was a Knick as well, who finished with 19 points and 8 rebounds, killing them on the glass with his big-time size and physicality, utilizing his athleticism. His junior year was so big-time. So Brunson decided to return to Villanova for his junior season after the season ended and the 2017 NBA draft class was finalized. Brunson was projected to be a preseason All-American by NBC Sports. He was the 2017-18 preseason All-Big East Player of the Year. Jalen Brunson took his game to a whole other level his junior year, showing he's ready for prime time. He finished the season averaging 18.9 points per game, 4.6 assists, 1 steal, 3.1 rebounds, shooting a ridiculously efficient 52% from the overall field on 13 shot attempts, 40.8% from 3 on 5 attempts, and 80% from the stripe. He had a very unorthodox style of play at 6'1", using his physicality, and didn't play with a lot of finesse, but he did show his ability to score from all 3 levels and improve as a playmaker. As on December 13th, Brunson scored a career-high 31 points, including 22 in the first half, to get Villanova off to a very strong start to lift the Wildcats over Temple in a blowout win 87-67. The next time, he would score 31 points in a game that was on December 30th, 2017, when Villanova lost its first game of the season to Butler. He posted his third 31-point total on January 28 to help Villanova beat Marquette in a close one, winning over Marquette 85-82. Brunson was scoring in bunches, expanding his offensive arsenal, but also racking up wins with his Villanova teammates, which was most important to him. Brunson was named as an Academic All-District selection, making him one of the 40 finalists for the 15-man Academic All-America team. He was named as one of the top finalists for the Naismith Award. He was named as one of the 20 latest finalists for the Wooden Award. Brunson was one of the 3 unanimous 2017-18 All-Big East selections, and he was named both the Big East Conference Men's Basketball Player of the Year and the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year a few days later. As a scholar, he was on pace to graduate during the summer after his junior season, balancing his academics and balancing himself out there on the basketball court, which is very impressive. As he was on pace to graduate during the summer of his junior season, as he was a consensus first-team All-American after being selected as a first-team All-American by Sporting News, USBWA, Associated Press, and NABC. He was also awarded the USBWA Oscar Robertson Trophy, the Associated Press College Basketball Player of the Year, the Naismith College Player of the Year, the John R. Wooden Award, the NABC Player of the Year, CBS Sports National Player of the Year, the Bob Cousy Award, and Sporting News Player of the Year. He was literally just racking up awards. Brunson was a second-team Academic All-America selection. Brunson was named the Most Outstanding Player of the East Region and was joined on the East Region All-Tournament team by Amari Spellman and Eric Pascal. Brunson was getting so much attention and recognition, but the most important award once again, the Villanova Wildcats were looking to be national champions. As the Villanova Wildcats were national champions once again, knocking off Michigan, He wasn't alone though. Mikal Bridges, after having 0 points in a huge upset loss to Wisconsin in the second round in the last tournament, he stepped up big time with 19 points. And Dante DiVincenzo, that made a name for himself and ended up being selected in the same draft as Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges. This performance definitely made a name for himself, being selected 17th overall. Dante DiVincenzo putting up 31 points, who's now a New York Knick ironically. Following his junior season, he declared for the 2018 NBA draft and hired an agent. You would think being a starting point guard on a Villanova team that won 2 out of 3 national titles while he was there would earn him respect, averaging nearly 20 points on ridiculously good efficiency his junior year, all these awards, but NBA scouts weren't in love with him. Being an older prospect, hovering around 6'1", or even shorter, saying he lacks explosiveness and quickness that many coveted prospects apparently possess to them. This makes him a liability on the defensive end. Maybe that's fair, he's not really an above average defender, but limits his ability to get to the rim and finish around the basket. We'll see about that later. The Dallas Mavericks said, don't worry, we're going to get your NBA career started. We're going to select you with the 33rd overall pick in the second round of the 2018 NBA draft.
Career. Hawks, their next pick is in.
With the 33rd pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Jalen Brunson from Villanova University.
Dallas Mavericks. Jalen Brunson won every award there was to win this year and led his team to a national championship, Jay.
Well, Jalen Brunson is mature and he is a winner and an excellent point guard. You know, he's not another guy who's not going to stand out because of how athletic he is. He reminds you a little bit of Fred VanVleet that went to Wichita State. He can post up, although that won't be a strength of his necessarily in the NBA.
Are you sure about that?
But he's very efficient. He knows how to play, and he's just a winner. Tough-minded, can shoot it, and he is like his efficiency on the floor. He keeps getting better and better. And I'm not sure, Reese, that I've come across a more mature player in the course of my years in college basketball, and as good of a leader. There's a reason why Villanova won, and they won in large part because of Jalen Brunson.
Winner. He's just a winner. That's the best thing that I can possibly say about a kid. Reminds me a lot of Tyus Jones, just very crafty. He has every skill, can post a guy up. He's very patient out there. But at the end of the day, you just want a guy that's going to lead and win and not care anything else about anything else that goes on. No stats, anything like that. Just go try to win and make guys better.
Oh, that's your guy then.
He was actually the last Villanova player drafted, as he had Mikal Bridges that was drafted, Dante DiVincenzo, and even Amari Spellman. Amari Spellman before Jalen Brunson definitely did not age well, but during the time, I'm sure the scouts liked something about Amari Spellman coming out of Villanova. Definitely had some big-time high qualities. But Jalen Brunson did not sign until after he completed his 2018 NBA Summer League campaign, and was accorded a 4-year contract similar to a first-round selection with 3 years guaranteed. He was actually pretty shaky in the Summer League, and some Mavericks fans were even wondering why we drafted this dude. He was drafted to a tough spot with selecting Dennis Smith Jr., a point guard, in the 2017 NBA draft in the lottery. And then the next year selecting Luka Doncic with the top 5 pick, a generational talent that likes to play with the ball in his hands. As a point guard lottery pick with Dennis Smith Jr. there, Luka who could play off the ball but of course handle the rock, JJ Barea, Devin Harris, veteran guard, it was tough for him from the very beginning to get valuable action, as he made his NBA debut on October 17, 2018, recording 3 points, 1 rebound, and an assist in a 100-121 loss against the Phoenix Suns. Not getting very valuable action, but an opportunity came after coming off the bench his first 4 games. Dennis Smith Jr. went down, and Brunson got an opportunity to start versus Toronto, scoring 8 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. He proved to be a solid scoring spark, really running the show at a steady pace. When there was injuries in the rotation, Brunson took the opportunity and thrived, getting him some valuable action that season off the bench and starting 38 games, averaging 13 points, 4.3 assists, and 3 rebounds in those starts, shooting 48% from the field and a ridiculous 37% from 3. As on January 5th, he was honored by the Philadelphia Sports Writers Association as its Amateur Athlete of the Year. That same night, with JJ and Devin Harris sidelined, Brunson posted 13 points, a career-high 11 rebounds, and what was then a career-high 8 assists against the Philadelphia 76ers and his first professional double-double. A month later, starting in place of Luka Doncic on February 22nd, Luka out with an injury, Brunson posted then a career-high 22 points against the Western Conference opponent of the Denver Nuggets. And then the next month, on March 12th, his rookie year, he erupted for 34 points versus San Antonio. He was proving the scouts wrong, saying he's not projected to be a good finisher with lack of size or burst. He's too small. He made up for all that with killer footwork and a deep bag as a 3-level scorer. After a successful solid rookie year, especially for a second rounder, averaging 9.3 points, 3.2 assists, 2.3 rebounds, shooting 46.7% from the field in 21.8 minutes. But his second year in the NBA was coming up, and Brunson may have shocked some people his rookie year, especially those scouts that were doubting him, but knowing Brunson's mentality, he was definitely not satisfied, especially seeing his improvement year by year at Villanova. In a season that was supposed to be huge for Brunson, he got hit with adversity. His minutes declined, going from 21.8 minutes per game to 17.9. DeLone Wright getting back a point guard minutes ahead of him. With Dennis Smith Jr. traded away to the Knicks for Porzingis in a deal, many thought a bigger expanded role was going to open up, but roles changed, with Luka being the starting 1, not 2 anymore, and starting the newly acquired Tim Hardaway Jr. from the Knicks at the shooting guard position. Jalen Brunson later on in the season got hurt on February 22nd at Atlanta. He suffered a labrum injury in his right shoulder. Then with the season suspended due to the virus, this was a good opportunity though to have necessary medical work done and perhaps miss fewer games than would normally be the case. But he ended up getting surgery done on March 13th, and keep in mind 63 to 67 games were played per team before regular season suspension. Total for 8 teams not in the NBA bubble, but Brunson played a total of 57 games that season. Brunson did not participate in the bubble with the Mavs due to his rehab with his shoulder. The games Brunson played that season, he was solid, but not the roller impact he was expecting to make, but he did make a big impact in a game Luka Doncic was out of the lineup on December 16, 2019, and Brunson starting. The 2019-20 Mavericks ended an 18-game winning streak by the Milwaukee Bucks, on a night when Brunson posted a career-high 11 assists and his first double-double of the season with 13 points as well. But outside of that, an underwhelming season for Brunson, averaging 17.9 minutes per game, and that time 8.2 points, 2.4 rebounds, and 3.3 assists. His average is going down. Some were questioning, do the Mavs look at Brunson as an important piece? Are they looking for a more defensive guard with length? As his third season coming off his rehab, the Mavs put those belief questions to rest, trading away DeLone Wright in a multi-team trade with the Pistons, becoming the full-time backup in Dallas behind Luka at the point guard position. Having a healthy season mostly, playing 68 games, he did start 12 due to some injuries, as he was absolutely killing it in his role during the 2020-21 season. He averaged a career high in minutes per game, career high in points, rebounds, and assists. I'm sure he was even getting girls' phone numbers. Just kidding, my guy's loyal. Finishing 4th in voting for the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award, he was showcasing himself as one of the most physically tough guards in the game, who could score from all 3 levels very efficiently, even at the basket. Those scouts were dead wrong. He was drawing charges despite being on the shorter end. He was Mr. Reliable every time he stepped on the court. You knew he was going to bring that spark or that energy. He was a huge part of the Mavs, finishing 5th in the Western Conference standings, averaging 12.6 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, 3.4 rebounds, only 1 turnover per game, shooting 52% from the field and 40% from 3 in 25 minutes per game. When he is out there on the floor, he continues to show that he's one of the most efficient guards in the game. Brunson, I'm sure, was satisfied somewhat with what he showcased in the regular season, but the next step was showcasing that he's for real on the big stage. As his minutes declined in the playoffs, perhaps the Mavs still needed to build trust with Brunson in those important games, averaging 8 points per game, 2.6 rebounds, and 1 assist in the playoffs on 45.5% from the field and 46% from 3. Those are solid numbers for the minutes that he got, with them declining. Was the defense, his size? So I'm not sure what was on his mind in the offseason, but it was still a very successful third season for Jalen, being completely fearless, attacking, and being productive, helping the Mavs win in his role. As his 4th season with the Mavericks, it absolutely changed his career. The Mavs were so impressed with Jalen Brunson, especially newly hired coach Jason Kidd, they couldn't see Brunson come off the bench much longer, as they named him the starter next to Luka Doncic, and Brunson didn't look back at all. this new lineup with Brunson, and it provided more scoring upside and another fearless closer next to Luka that could score from all three levels. Having Spencer Dinwiddie and Tim Hardaway Jr. come off the bench at the 1 and 2, this Mavs team was one of the most exciting in recent memory, going 52-30, fourth in the Western Conference. Luka was an MVP candidate, killing it next to him. Jalen Brunson, one of the best finishers in the game, especially at his position. His minutes went up to 31.9 minutes per game, so steady, averaging only 1 turnover a game, 16.3 points, 4.8 assists, 3.9 rebounds, 1 steal, shooting 50% from the field, 37% from 3, 84% from the free throw line. He was the definition of steady. He got to his spots at ease, unorthodox game at 6'1", backing guys down, shooting fadeaways, little hooks. Mavs fans were excited for the future with Luka and Brunson. Brunson was getting crapped on for his age and upside coming out of the draft, but he was flat out getting better. In the 17 games that Brunson played for the Mavericks that season without Luka, he averaged 20.4 points, 7.5 assists, and 3.9 rebounds while shooting 49.3% from the field and 35% from 3. So not like it was just Brunson thriving as a decoy. He's absolutely legit. Mavs fans didn't see anything yet though. In postseason time, top 5 seed in the Western Conference, taking on Donovan Mitchell, one of the best 2 guards in the game, in the Utah Jazz. But oh no, what a waste of a regular season. Luka is out with a left calf strain, and I'm sure Mavs fans are saying, are you freaking kidding me? The Mavs are done? At least that's what they thought. In Game 1, Brunson logs 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, but they lose in a tight one, 99-93. Mavs fans had to be somewhat optimistic though. Oh, we have a guard that could still keep us in ball games while Luke is out. Hopefully he's not out for very long. It wasn't enough though. Mavs fans were worrying, damn, Luke is still out. Did we see the ceiling of Jalen Brunson in that one playoff game? No way he does more than that during Game 2, right?
For me personally, I've prided myself at being consistent and efficient my entire life. And so I think going into Game 2, now smarter, taking better shots, now being more efficient, for me personally is definitely going to be a key. I'm just going to have to go back and watch a little more, be a student of the game and learn from this. Just stick together. It's going to be a long series.
Willie goes freaking nuts and does way more than that. In a Dallas win, he goes on to drop 41 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists on 15 of 25 shooting. He hit 6 threes in a 110-104 win to tie up the series 1-1. Hitting big shot after big shot, if it's from 3, at the basket, from mid-range, making key passes down the stretch as well. It was like watching poetry in motion. He was so under control, so smooth. It didn't matter how much he was dribbling. He always seemed locked in with the basketball and under control. The sidestep threes, finishing with physicality, floaters, mid-range. When I was watching that game, I was just like, holy shit. Brunson wasn't done. He had 31 points on 12 of 22 shooting and a 2-1 series lead with a 126-118 win in Utah. It's the first time Brunson, a 4-year veteran, has scored 30 or more points in consecutive games in his NBA career, and it happens to be on the biggest stage possible. I was thinking, this dude is for real. No one can touch him at this moment. Brunson was not surprised with the outcome because of the work he's put in. It's just me being myself, just trying to help my team win, he said in quote. Who also had 5 assists Thursday. That's all I'm thinking about now. I'm not really thinking about it as a coming out party. Luka came back on minute restrictions, and they were both able to be steady enough to help the Mavs close out the Jazz in 6 games.
The second round, O'Neal, trigger man, toss, cross court, Bogdanovich, ball fake, Bogdanovich misses on a 3-ball, and it's over. For the first time since 2011, when the Mavericks won the title, they are advancing in the playoffs. They hold off the Jazz and take this first round series in 6.
averaging 27.8 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 4.2 assists for Jalen Brunson on great efficiency in round one. And everyone was thinking, did Jalen Brunson really just outplay Donovan Mitchell on the big stage? We may need to think about Donovan Mitchell when it comes to the big stage and if he could actually be that guy. Is he a really good number two? Is he an alright number one? Is he not a number one at all? Many thought contract year, like, whoa, should the Mavs be scared? He just showed that he could step up big time with and without Luka Doncic and win a playoff series. His averages did dip versus Phoenix in the next run, which was expected. With Luka back full time, he still averaged 18.7 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.9 assists in 7 games versus the Suns, though, dropping 24 points in the Game 7. The Mavs absolutely embarrassed the Suns in. Heading to the Western Conference Finals was a true test for Jalen Brunson and the Mavs, playing the Warriors with some size, length, and athleticism with good defenders that could shoot the three ball. Brunson went off in Game 2 with 31 points on 57.9% shooting from the field and 71% from three. He had his struggles, but still, having at least one big-time game up against the Warriors that have a history of winning championships, that is crazy impressive. This dude is not afraid of anything. He literally shot 71% from three, and he had a solid Game 3, but in Game 5, Game 1, and Game 4, the Warriors' switchability and size gave Brunson fits. Only having 10 points in Game 5 in the elimination game, which he struggled in, it was still a very fun, successful season though, despite falling short. The Mavericks weren't able to get out of the first round of the playoffs versus LA previously. The Jalen Brunson saved their season in the first round, and he did this in his first year as a starter. That is crazy impressive. So we're all thinking, yes, Jalen Brunson just absolutely went off in the playoffs, and he's probably going to attract a lot of money, but the Mavericks were the team that spent the 33rd pick on him and gave him a chance and gave him an opportunity, and he thrived in the role. No doubt about it, he is returning to the Dallas Mavericks. So perfect. Mavs just pay him, and you got something special with Luka and Jalen. No problem. The first year of them actually together in the starting lineup, they go to the Western Conference Finals. That is insane. Not like Jalen Brunson grew up a Knicks fan. Sam Rose, the son of Leon Rose, president of basketball operations for the Knicks. Not like he's Jalen Brunson's agent or anything. Not like Tom Thibodeau's known him since he was a kid because his dad played for the Knicks and was an assistant coach for Tips in Chicago. The Knicks are going to hire Rick Brunson as an assistant coach. No way that happens. Well, all of those things are true.
Yeah, it's like the physical ties are there. Like my grandparents lived in Long Island. Now, when I was a kid, I had like a little tyke soup in the middle of the kitchen with little Knicks stickers all over the floor. At my grandparents' house, like shooting a little tyke soup while my dad's playing an away game.
And that last thing went on to happen. Some players and World Wide West attending Brunson's playoff game, the Knicks were getting clowned for putting in all the work to try to attract Jalen Brunson and how they may potentially have to give up a draft pick, which they did, but it wasn't very valuable. So they're trying to attract Jalen Brunson to free agency. They're getting clowned, of course, because they had expectations in the past to get a LeBron James, a Kevin Durant, a Kyrie Irving, or not even free agency. But Knicks fans, including me, thought we were going to get the first overall pick and land a Zion Williamson, who at the time was the next coming generational talent. Oh my God, the Knicks are so stupid. They're tampering for someone that isn't even an all-star. The Knicks are going to nick. Well, those people look stupid now. We saw he could ball, but we needed to see more of a sample size. As getting into the contract situation, the tampering situation for the Knicks or recruiting, trying to get him, wouldn't have went down if the Mavs just ripped off the Band-Aid and paid him prior to the 2021-22 season. He was eligible for a 4-year, $55.5 million extension. It was an offer Brunson's camp would have accepted if the Mavs made it. Reported from Chris Haynes, the Mavericks didn't think he was worth that at the time. I wanted that role of being with the Mavericks for the long haul of my career, Brunson said. I truly love that place, and that has to be absolutely killer for Mavs fans when you hear that quote.
I can, like when we were talking about like the number from Dallas and stuff like that, like obviously, like I love my time in Dallas, wanted to be in Dallas. I thought I was going to be in Dallas for a long time. And then, like you said, I started having a monster season. And I went to them before they officially offered it to me. And then by then it was kind of too late. And it was like the business came knocking on the door. And so it was time to kind of just at least look. I had to do my due diligence and look and see what was out there. And but yeah, I honestly, like, people may not believe it, but I talked about it with my dad since like year 1 or 2. So yeah, we're gonna be here for the rest of our career.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought.
So then after seeing what Brunson did that season in the playoffs, that price went way up. Since Jalen Brunson was selected in the second round of the 2018 NBA draft, he was an unrestricted free agent. The Mavericks couldn't simply match an offer sheet he received. The Knicks went on to sign Jalen Brunson to a 4-year, $104 million contract, including me. I'm thinking, holy moly. NBA fans taking all that money for someone who hasn't been named an all-star, only 1 year of starting. The Knicks are bidding against themselves. Well, Jalen Brunson absolutely had a chip on his shoulder, and all of those takes aged like milk, at least for 1 season. Brunson could have come in and been an average 16-6 guy, and some Knicks fans would have been happy. We've been looking for stability at the point guard position for a while, but he was way beyond that his first season with the Knicks. In October, November, and December at the beginning of the season, he looked really damn solid for the Knicks. Enough to make Knicks fans happy in his first 6 games with the Knicks, facing the Grizzlies, Pistons, Magic, Hornets, Bucks, and Cavs. He was averaging 18.2 points per game, 7.2 assists per game, and 4.2 rebounds on 47% shooting, showing his year starting was no fluke, especially efficiency-wise. He started off only shooting 33% from 3, so he wasn't scratching the surface yet. In November, he averaged 22.5 points, 6.3 assists, 3.3 rebounds in 16 games, still waiting for his three-point efficiency to go up. But us Knicks fans were still so pumped watching him play. The hezzies, the mid-range game, finishing so strong, the floaters, a point guard with go-to moves. Wow, it's been a while. December, he had very identical numbers to October, except his field goal percentage went down to 41%, and his three-point percentage went up to 44.9%. Very weird how that worked during the time. Maybe still experimenting, when to be aggressive and when to ISO, when to distribute the rock. Brunson was still averaging damn near 20 points when he still hasn't figured it out with a new situation. I knew we were in for a treat. The Knicks were hovering around 500 around that time, flirting with going up for a few games above 500, with Randall playing very well, RJ catching on as well after getting off to a shaky start, Robinson, Grimes providing more upside, and more. Emmanuel quickly. But then the switch was flipped. Brunson figured out literally everything from January all the way into the postseason. He was literally unguardable. You shut him off going left, he's going right. Contested floaters, drop steps, unorthodox post-ups at 6'1", fading over 6'6" defenders, step-throughs, sidestep threes, patient methodical dribbles or crossovers into a mid-range shot. His footwork is absolutely top-notch. It feels like anxiety is afraid of him, because this man doesn't shy away from pressure, hitting big shot after big shot. Of course, every big-time shot maker is going to have adversity. One of the most fearless players I've seen in a Knicks uniform. I'm not even joking, but keep in mind I'm also 19 years old. He's drawing charges at his size. Get ready for this, though. Get ready for this. From January 1st to April 30th, Jalen Brunson averaged 27.8 points, 5.8 assists, 3.9 rebounds on 51.7% shooting from the overall field. On top of that, shooting 45.6% from 3 and was hovering around 80% from the foul line. Brunson is a king of drawing fouls in a very methodical way. Brunson was robbed of being an all-star, of course. I love Halliburton, but come on. The way Brunson carries himself, even if he knows it's not his fault for a loss, he always puts it on himself like a true professional. He grew up a Knicks fan. He's humble but confident, not afraid. It's a match made in heaven. Most importantly, from January to April, it was resulting in winning basketball with a 28-17 record in that stretch for the New York Knicks. The Knicks finished as the 5th seed and the Cavs finished as the 4th seed, which means the Knicks take on the Cavs in the first round. And if you don't know, well, Donovan Mitchell was supposed to be the guy the Knicks landed through a trade with Utah. But Danny Ainge said, F you Knicks. So of course the Knicks were going to get clowned. People saying, wow, they're going to get sent home by the guy they could have gotten. And their guy Jalen Brunson they overpaid for isn't going to step up at a high level. And to add extra fuel to the fire, Donovan Mitchell is looking for revenge. Not too long ago when Mitchell was with Utah, he got sent packing by Brunson in the first round when he was with Dallas. Knicks fans were hoping Brunson was going to continue his cooking in the playoffs. Well, that happened. Brunson once again looked fearless in the playoffs, showing what he did a year ago was no fluke at all. and a huge game 1 in Cleveland to build momentum, a game that went down to the wire with the struggles of RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly in game 1. Brunson saved the night. Shout out to Josh Hart as well. Huge 3 on a hurt ankle. The interior of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley did give Brunson some fits early on, but at the end of the game, Brunson rocked Osman to sleep with those calm and collected mid-range jumpers and a huge 3 in the corner over Jared Allen. It's like he's rocking a baby to sleep with his crossover pull-ups, taking game 1. Game 2, Darius Garland had us scared for a bit, and Karis LeVert. I remember saying LeVert and RJ Barrett are the X factors for supporting help. Whoever's more consistent will help win the series. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson being a beast helped too, but after that stinker in game 2, Brunson kept up his consistent play. Hard-nosed defense, Mitch on the glass and defense in the interior. RJ stepped up big time offensively. Brunson was happy for all the success of his teammates. I had a feeling the Knicks were going to win that series, but in 5, in Cleveland, the way we won, it's like we snatched their heart, we snatched their soul. Donovan Mitchell underperformed big time in the elimination game, in my opinion. Brunson had his number once again. Brunson had the right mentality all series long, that it wasn't over until they closed it out officially.
Jalen and Josh, what's your message to the rest of your teammates in terms of being so close to moving on, but focusing on the task at hand?
Exactly that. It's not over. Not even close to being over. We gotta continue to just keep focusing on one day at a time. And there's nothing to celebrate. There's nothing to be truly happy about. So obviously, we won tonight. We're one step closer, but we gotta continue to have that same mindset mentality, and that we have over the past couple games.
A first-round matchup win felt so amazing, going through so much crap as a fan base. Seeing Jalen Brunson, the player we paid, step up at the highest level possible was amazing. The Knicks were set to take on the Heat that defeated the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks as an 8 seed. Any real fan knew it wasn't going to be easy. Randall coming back from another injury suffered in game 5, how well coached the Heat are, and they were mentally tough. The Achilles heels in this series is definitely Randall not stepping up. Mitch got abused a little more by a physical team. Grimes is a no-show offensively. Same with Quick, lack of floor spacing. The thing that was crazy to me, Brunson put up even better numbers in this series, averaging 31 points per game, 6.3 assists per game, 5.5 rebounds in 6 games on 50% shooting, but only 34.7% from 3. His 3-ball efficiency did go down in the playoffs, but was getting to the line 7.7 times a game on 89% shooting from the line in 42 minutes a game. The reality was the Heat capitalized on second chance opportunities, had more momentum changing plays, didn't have those big shots consistently like the Cavs series capitalizing. RJ played well in the series through 5 games, but put up a stinker unfortunately in game 6 with a Randall. But when the Knicks could have at least lost in 5 in New York, Brunson didn't let that happen. With the help of RJ, Randall, and Jay Hart as well, Hartenstein huge putback dunk, Brunson played all 48 minutes, putting up 38 points. Talk about a freaking warrior. The Heat threw everything at him and had no answer for Brunson. Eric Spoelstra even said, I don't know how he wasn't an all-star in a post-game press conference.
With the way Brunson had it going, what were the kind of softer doubles able to accomplish down the stretch?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, how's that dude not an all-star or all-NBA? I haven't even like really checked the all-NBA. Have those come out yet?
Yes.
Oh, they have. That's how intense this series has been. Did any of our guys make it? Where have I been? I thought the defensive stuff came out. I didn't even see that. He should be on one of those teams. I wish he was still out west, but man, you got to respect him as a competitor. He's like a lot of our guys in the locker room. He's got an iron will. There's something about these Villanova guys. They're tough as they come as competitors. And, Kyle, I told Kyle at some point during the series, I said, don't ever forget you were the first one, okay? But Jalen's taken that baton for sure. He's just an incredible competitor. And, we came in with some different ideas, trying to get the ball out of his hands, and then he went to a different thing, 5 out of 10 from 3. But that's what great players do. You just, you figure different things out, and thankfully we were able to get that one stop at the end. I think we're all on our, seat of on the edge of our seats.
If you watch the playoffs and didn't take away that Brunson is the truth, I don't know what to tell you. In Game 6 in Miami, when I thought he was going to be gassed from playing 48 minutes and he was on a hurt ankle.
Jalen, I think I know how you're going to answer this, but is your ankle impacting you while you're out there?
How am I going to answer it?
You're going to say, I'm good to play, and that's it.
I'm good to play. That's it. Just give the answer.
If he comes out and lights it up with 41 points, such a heartbreaking loss though with the Knicks going on a run. It's 92-90, Heat up 2 with 22 seconds left. Knicks ball, Jalen Brunson dribble penetrates, gets trapped, had Jay Hart wide open for 3. If he made that pass, would have Josh Hart made it? He was struggling from 3 in the playoffs. Would he have had the legs to get that shot off or make it? It looked like Jalen Brunson forced a pass inside, resulting in a turnover. Did Randall not commit enough to the ball? Did someone clog the lane too much? What a gut-punching loss. Literally can't put it on Brunson though. What if Randall showed up? What if RJ made more than 1 field goal? I felt so bad for Jalen after that.
I like the way we fought this past couple games. Down 2 with the ball, I gotta give us a chance to even get a shot attempt, and that turnover is just unacceptable. So yeah, it's tough.
I wasn't pissed after that game. Of course, I was upset, but this team does not go to the second round without Jalen Brunson. What I took away is that I'm so damn happy to have Jalen Brunson as a Knick. I'm glad we waited for him. Maybe things are even better his second year with us. Better chemistry, less growing pains, but each season is a different season. But he took us to the second round. He showed he's fearless. Many say they are, but in reality they aren't. He's a true professional. He owns the crap. 24 points per game, 6.2 assists per game, 3.5 rebounds on 49% shooting, and 41.6% from 3 in the regular season. Steps up at an even higher level in the playoffs. I would say that's pretty damn good for an overpay and someone that won't be good entering the league because he doesn't have the explosiveness and he's too small to finish at the basket. Ironically, his career high came at the end of the season before the postseason, putting up 48 points in a career high versus Cleveland in a win. Just takes it personal every time he plays Donovan Mitchell, and that is the story so far of Jalen Brunson. If you absolutely love the New York Knicks like I do, thank you so much for tuning in. Or maybe you're not a Knicks fan, you're just an NBA fan. I still appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe for more. Smash the like button. Peace out, y'all.